Hello everyone, in this video I'll be showing you the most overpowered Rafa build in Borderlands 4 for the upcoming Ultimate Vault Hunter 6 and Bloomreaper the Invincible. I have no idea why he was glitched out and moving extremely slow, but you can see there, we can delete large health bars fast in Ultimate Vault Hunter 5. So here's the full health bar of this boss going to go down immediately because we have Bullet Buddy Deluxe, which lets us shoot some of these weapons here that have Torgue stickies on them, and it just will delete any boss health bar. And we can jack our gun damage and ordnance damage up very high, as well as our total damage dealt is getting 100% bonus here. This is due to the Dancer class mod getting fixed. We're also going to be using the Wombo combos. The new content is going to have Vile Crystals, and this is the best weapon for dealing with that. And then things like the bod for deleting health bars. Skills like Temerario giving us huge boost to our gun damage, and since we got that increase from Soltado now, anytime we get a kill, our overdrive benefits are going to get bonus increasingly high. This means our fire rates as well. So from level 1, it's nice to take this in the early game for the bonus to gun damage, but later on it's much better to get increased fire rate for our Peacebreaker cannons in ourselves. This means we can output DPS a lot quicker. The next choice is Herga here, which whenever we get a critical hit, we're going to get our action skill duration restored, which means that we can stay in our Bullet Buddy Deluxe here a little bit longer with our Peacebreaker cannon. So this is going to be the best augment for this build. This gives us infinite ammo, and it also is going to give us bonus incendiary damage, which is really nice as well. But the big thing being we can fire some of the Torgue sticky weapons. So look out for those if you're playing throughout the game. And in the late game, the Bod, Chaosint, and Queen's Rest are great weapons. Now, Resiliencia is really good here because the damage reduction, as being an overdrive skill, will get benefits later on and increase whenever we get kills. But I like to take at least 3 points to the Maestro. Skill damage is a little bit different from action skill damage. There's not many things that'll apply for Rafa, for example, but we'll take 3 points there and 2 points into the Resiliencia. Now, at this point, it's good to go over here. We'll go into the red skill tree. You don't have to take the unmissable missiles. We're just going to go over here. We're not taking Overdrive because we already have the Dancer class mod. We're going to go with Barrage here. So we get increased splash damage while Overdrive is active, which is really nice because this is an Overdrive skill getting increased whenever we get our other increases. And we're going to take more points into Temerario here. Now, if you have 5 points, it's going to give you 5% gun damage per second, which increases. It makes it harder to aim, but we're going to take something a little bit later on that helps a lot with this. To offset our gun handling, we're going to go with the blue skill tree a little later on, but we'll take now the Volatile Hollow Points. This will give us rockets that deal splash damage that's getting increased, and when we get kills, they're going to increase too. And we'll also put 1 point into Soltado here whenever we get a kill, double all overdrive benefits. And we have a lot of different overdrive benefits, like increased damage. This is a basic one, increased movement speed, and everything else that is listed as an orange overdrive skill. Maestro is a little bit weird when it says skill damage and where it applies. It usually is orange colored things, but I haven't seen it work very well here. Now we're going to want to come to the blue skill tree. I really like the Thrill, as this is an overdrive skill, which will increase our fire rate. If you can get points into this from a class mod, it's really nice too, because it further increases your fire rate when overdrive is active, and then it'll further increase that as well. And next you can take Las Haras here, which is an overdrive skill, which will regenerate your ammo. Again, this will also increase in its effectiveness. Rinse is okay too, because it increases your reload speed, which is just a straight DPS increase. But I think that getting this for ammo regeneration allows us to shoot a little bit longer. I find this one pretty fun, but you can choose between the two of these here. Now we need El Centro. This is literally the antithesis to Temerario, because as we're in our overdrive, every second we get increased gun handling. We want 5 points into that. You can get by with less points and go into something else, but I think this just works the best. Now, we had a couple of really good options, and Rafa's going to scale well when the level cap increases. Jacques and Mate here are really good because this will give you overdrive bonuses increase 2.5% per stack, and then this will give you those stacks will give your action skill back. So whenever your action skill ends, we'll actually get it back quicker. I also like Garza. Now, this I was told about is really good too, and I tried it, and it is solid. Depending on the weapons that you're using, I like the bod with the pistol or sniper grip under barrel. It's a little bit easier to then use these two skills here. But if we go with Garza, this gives us a 60% increased gun handling and action skill handling while in our overdrive, which is really nice. And then this lets us go down and take Deadline. So we get increased fire rate and increased reload speed while overdrive is active. Again, further increasing our fire rate, which we have a few of already, but we want as many of these as possible because we get infinite ammo. We want to be able to shoot faster. That's our DPS increases. I already showed a little earlier how the Soltado class or passive here will actually give us up to 500% gun damage. You can get that even higher. This is because the Dancer class mod is just so good. Overdrive bonuses are increased by 100%, huge. And then it also makes your overdrive benefits last the entire action skill duration instead of the first few seconds. That is also massive. You can get a lot of different skill rolls on this. I got one with 3 points into sustainable energy, giving even more overdrive benefits. So this gives health regeneration. I don't really like this. Ideally, you'd get +5 Temerario and then +1 into Soltado there. There is another roll that you can get here to give us fast fire rate. This would be another good skill to get as well. I really just like the Dancer class mod after the upgrade. The Instigator is another choice. It gives you plus 2% gun damage for every second that you're aimed at the boss. This is hard because your Peacebreaker cannon shoot around at multiple enemies really fast. This gives a lot of rolls into ricochets, and it's more of a ricochet build. The Dance are just the best for this, I would say. Now, class mods. I like the Watts for Dinner, especially because you get that bonus shock damage. This is just further increasing the damage, and since we have a fast fire rate, we're giving out a lot of damage. Ideally, you'd get one with the shield drain, which would drain 38% of your shields for a bonus 150% extra damage, which is really nice. But fireworks is great too. If you're doing any type of mobbing, this is going to be the best. Ideally, a radiation one as well. Timekeeper's New Shield can be kind of fun if you get a class mode with some lifesteal. And I also like to go with the Protean Cell, which will give you 40% bonus shock damage. The Watch for Dinner is just the easiest one to set up and just kind of set and forget. Now, there's a lot of different types of enhancements that we can roll with. I like the Jacob's Bounce Pass, giving you increased ricochets by 1. This is always a good choice because you're going to get a bunch of extra damage if you're using Jacob's types of weapons. I also like to go with the Daedalus License part here, especially with the bod. This is the absolute best roll for it. Guns with Daedalus parts will get increased fire rate, 50% fire rate, which is crazy. Resets on reload. We don't reload because we're going to be using Bullet Buddy Deluxe. And on reload with guns with Daedalus parts, you get 25% gun damage based on the amount of spare ammo. This one came with gun damage, 25%, and gun critical hit damage. Really, really good roll. This would be the ideal one to get. Critical hit knife, just still one of the best in the game. Skelly's also really fun too, and the grenade from the Halloween got updated recently. The waterfall is also really good. I like this one for mobbing, especially with the radiation on it. But critical hit knife is just going to be best for bossing, and likely going to be the best against Bloomreaper the Invincible, which drops tomorrow. We also got the Mega Triple Bypass here, increasing our movement speed by 40%. This lets you zip around really fast. I like that on Rafa, but you could also go with one that's going to increase your damage with the amp there. Leech is also really fun. Again, if you're using this one, use the Timekeeper's New Shield. You'll be really hard to take down. That's going to be great against the against the new bosses, the Bloomreaper the Invincible. Now for weapons, Wombo Combo, as mentioned, is always going to be good because vile enemies don't like these. It blows up their crystals really quickly. I also like the Queen's Rest, as mentioned. Chaosin being another good choice. So Chaosin is a submachine gun. These come with the Torg Stickies, which are going to, you stick them onto the enemy, you get a bunch of them on them, and then they explode, and they do a ton of damage, which you saw at the start. The bod being the best one if you can get the Torg Stickies on this, because it's 3% per shot. It shoots 5 rounds. It's 15% per shot. It shoots really fast, especially with this enhancement, and making you able to delete bosses immediately. TK's Wave is another really fun weapon. I like this one a lot. You can also use the Affinity XXXL. This gun is very high damage. Seventh Sense is also a very, very good one. It makes orbs behind the enemy, and you can shoot this really quickly, and then it's just going to explode and take out the enemy very fast. And Burst Bees is also a really nice one, too. If you get the Daedalus underbarrel on it, you can shoot really fast with the enhancements. Now, I know my firmware setup on this build, I've moved them to another account. Deadeye is going to be the best. You want to have 3 of these, and then 2 high caliber for the extra damage. You could alternatively do 3 high caliber for the piercing on it, which is kind of nice in certain weapons, but I found Deadeye to be better with the high crit damage. And for our specializations, now with Caffeine's great because this lets us get back into our Bullet Buddy Deluxe really quickly using our Repkits. Honed Mind, this will give even further critical hit damage and critical hit chance with our Peacebreaker cannons, which is great. We also have Riddle You This, which will give us increased gun damage up to 50%, and then that 50% will then get added to our gun damage with I Am a Gun, giving 50% of our gun damage increases back onto it. Alternatively, you can take off Honed Mind and then put on the best defense to give ourselves 30% bonus damage whenever our health and shield is full. And here's what the Wombo Combo looks like, doing actually pretty crazy mess. I blew myself up. It just keeps shooting faster and faster too whenever you're in this, and then with the Bullet Buddy Deluxe, we get that infinite ammo there, which is obviously really nice, and yeah, you can just delete bosses. This is not the best damage type against this boss. He's got a health bar there, so yeah, I'm not optimizing for this, but you can see, you can shoot really quickly. I said the worst luck blowing myself up. Be careful of the Wombo Combo, it shoots rockets. And here's the Queen's Rest. What I like best about the Queen's Rest is if you got the critical hit knife, it'll chain around to multiple enemies, so sometimes you can just do some crazy mobbing with this because it's going to delete his health bar, similar to the bod whenever you reload like that. Very fast, and actually a pretty fun weapon because the chaining is so cool. If you're able to get a 7 cents with the Ripper magazine parts, you're able to shoot this really fast. I'm shooting it pretty decently quickly here, but the thing with this is whenever you reload, it's going to put particles behind the creature there and then explode them whenever you reload. So yeah, kind of similar to the Torg Stickies, this weapon can be pretty effective in the overall damage. All it takes is you to reload there, and yeah, it's gone. But what I believe to be the best weapon is bod, especially with the setup, because it can shoot faster than every other gun. It's going to deliver more damage per bullet. It's an absolutely insane gun, even if you don't use the Torg Stickies. You didn't even see the boss's health bar. It moves so fast. So yeah, this is going to be the most powerful build moving forward into Ultimate Vault Hunter 6 that drops tomorrow. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Hit the subscribe button below if you enjoyed, and I hope you guys all have a great day.